Okay, I think I got everything figured out. Let's see there, here. I knew there had to be some sort of trick here. One of these gets taped onto the door, and the other gets hooked in like this. And you push it in, and then it clips like that. And that's what holds the front of the insulation on. And now I'm going to have to kind of pull this apart with a couple little screwdrivers. And see, they give you the tape to put on the doors. And so they gave us 16 or 18 of these. There's 6 times 3 is 18. And on each panel, I'm going to put 2 of them. So like on this panel here, I'm going to split the difference in thirds. And I'm going to have 1 there and 1 there. Okay? So 2 on each panel. There's 4 panels and 4 panels. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I need 16 little buttons taped on here, right? 16, and I've got 16 times 2 is 32, and I think I got 36 total. And I've got 18 of these, so I should have 2 of these left. Do you see what I mean? So I'm gonna measure. You'll see. Keep watching this video, and they give you this little piece here. This is a little vinyl piece with tape on it, and you can cut this in case you do a boo-boo on here or rip it or something like that. You can put this over it, and you could also get some shipping tape, some clear shipping tape, and I've got some clear shipping tape, and I may end up. I think I'm going to put some around the edges. Is what I think I'm going to do. Now they tell you on these panels, because see on these panels there's 8 panels that come in here. So that tells me first off there's only enough on here to go the first 4 panels, not the top ones. And I think that's just for design. And it's like your whole door is going to be insulated other than your top 2 panels. Okay, and this door happens to have a little insulation on here to begin with. And that's something that came on the panels. This isn't the actual panel. The panel's on the outside of that. So this door is already insulated. That's kind of slick that it's like that. I'm kind of liking that. But that's going to make our insulation stick out a little bit further around the edges. Maybe this is like supposed to be 2 1/4 inches thick. And see, on these panels, when I put the panel in, I've only got about 1 inch to this, and I can kind of push it down in there. But see, this panel is part of the actual door. And you see how it kind of moves in there? Now there's no way I'm going to pull those panels out, because that's, like I say, that's part of the actual door. So when I get done with all this, I'm going to have to kind of pooch it in there, and I may have to put the clear shipping tape all the way around this to kind of hold it in there, because I got my panels actually 2 1/4 inches thick, right? And I could leave it on the sides and let it stick out. We'll just have to see how this works. Or in fact, it says to cut the panels wider than you need. And so you see on these panels here, first off, I measure it, and they're about 52, a little over 52 inches, and they're with the plastic to plastic 21 1/2. And when I come over here to these panels, let's just look at this. Let's just look at this panel right here. If I measure this from here over, I got 50.5 to there. Okay, and so I know I can cut my panel back a little bit, and then when I measure this on the inside to the outside up underneath here, I got 17 3/4, and I've got 21. And so what I'll do is on my actual plastic, I may measure 18 inches, let's say, and cut it 18 inches, and it tells you to measure it and cut it a little bit longer. And I may have to look at that and make a decision as to maybe I'll make it a little bit more than 18 inches, 18 1/4, 18.5 or so. And then once I get the insulation up there, I can kind of just for kicks, I can kind of have the pink on the inside, see, and then I'll pull the plastic up a little bit, and then maybe I can tape that with some tape, with some shipping tape, let's say, possibly around the edges. It tells you you don't necessarily have to do anything around the edges. Maybe I'll just tuck it under there and let it stick out. I'll just have to see. I could maybe tape it afterwards, because see, if I didn't have insulation on the door already, then theory would have it that I should be able to take this whole thing and push it in like that, see, around the edge. And see, as I push it in, this is 2 inches thick. It's supposed to be 2 1/4, but I can take it around the edges and just poke it up in there, see, like that. And then I'll probably do that. And then you're gonna have those 2 buttons holding the rest of it. But then I think what I could do is put the shipping tape around there, around the outside, all the way around. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. I mean, they say you shouldn't have to do that. This would look really clean if I had it pushed up in there. And see, I'll cut it a little bit long so I got enough room for that. And then on the edges, you see, I don't have anything to push it in right there, right? On both sides, I don't have anything like that. And so on that, let's see where I'm at. Okay, here we go. On that, when it pushes up tight on this edge, I might want to measure the plastic just a hair further, maybe. Maybe I'll measure to the center of this and kind of pooch the insulation back, and then hold that over, and then I can tape that. And then this will be white all the way down this metal, and then I can do that on both ends or something, and that'll help hold the edges, you know. If you don't, or you can just hold it like that, and it's just going to be pushed up like that. Do you see what I mean? I'm gonna have to think about it on where I want to cut that first one, because once I cut the first one, that's pretty much it. And so I think for the sake of argument, in fact, remember that, what was this? I'm gonna measure this again. Let's see here what we got. It says on the directions how long these are, but see, I got about 52 inches or so of the actual plastic area. 52. And if I look at this again, let's just measure the inside measurement. see this tape I've got, this is magnetic on the end, isn't that cool? I can just hold it like that, see? I got 50.5 from inside to inside, but I want that plastic to the center, right? And if I go center to center over here, I'll be centered on this post here, and then I'll just be sticking over on this other side about 3/4 of an inch. That's okay. So I have the white sticking over on this metal here by 3/4 of an inch or an inch, and then I can have it sticking over here. So on the back side of my vinyl, you know, before I cut this, I could peel this, I could hold this and kind of peel this back a little bit, then put this on the plywood, then trim this a little bit off. Do you see what I mean? If I don't want to kind of pooch it up like that, trim off a little bit on both ends, I could do that, or I could just kind of push it in and hold this over, okay, for the length. And so I'll have to decide. I think that's what I may end up doing. I mean, I've got the plywood here. It's not going to take me that long to eyeball that and fold that over and cut it with a drywall knife. It's nice and easy to do that. And now it's a matter of measuring height-wise what I want to do there to fit it in. And I think, see, if I just measure from point to point, that was like 18 inches. And then it tells you to cut it about a 1/2 inch longer than that. I think I'll have to read the directions on it again. And so I'll make it, if it says a 1/2 inch, I'll make those 18.5. And then I can kind of pooch it down in there, pooch it up in there. So I think that's gonna work rather nicely, you know. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put those little buttons on. I've got to do some measurements there and make sure I get those out just right. Okay, step by step, you can do this. Okay, you remember I had 18 of these. Well, I only cut 16. I've got 16 up here, and I pulled the green side off and I stuck them to the back side. Now I can easily peel this off and see, I'm going to put this section right on the door. And see, I've marked these and I made them centered of this and a third, and a third. Okay, then I'm going to glue this or tape it, pull the tape off and put it right there. Okay, and I'm going to do that on all of them, and that way I've got 16 of them on there, and I've got to decide which way to put these. Do I want to face them up or do I want to face them sideways? Okay, and I want to do them all the same. That way when I put the next piece on, after, you know, when I get the insulation up there, I'll have to figure out which way. I guess it really doesn't matter. It's gonna be poking out. You could even have it crooked if you want, you know. So does it really matter? Not really, I guess, because this is gonna poke straight out through the back side of this. Okay, and it says to go ahead and put these up. Let's see here. Like put them all up first, and then go ahead and put your panel up there and kind of feel where this one's going to go, and then you can poke a little hole through the front side with the sheetrock knife. Just make a little slit with the sheetrock knife. That way you can push this up through there. But I think what I'm going to do, for the sake of argument, I'm going to go ahead and put all these on. And because I've got certain measurements that I want and stuff, I want to make sure the slit comes out exactly where I want it on the back side of here. So I can set this down on the ground and I can measure over, allowing for the overlap on the middle, and then measure over and put a mark, measure over, put a mark, and do all that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? And then I can make the little slits in here first. Now you'll have to remember that these are like 22 inches across. I still have to cut everything and do all that kind of stuff. And when I cut those, I want to make sure that I figure out where to cut them. Do I want to cut them facing up, facing down, whatever I want to do. And I can measure off of there, and I can put a line on here. I can fold the insulation back, get a straight edge, put it on there, cut the actual vinyl with scissors, let's say. Maybe I'm thinking I might want to do that rather than just set it down on the ground and cut it. But if I'm cutting it and overlapping it as far as I think I can, I think if I just get an eyeball straight across there, measure across, and have a straight edge on the top of the insulation, I think I should be fine. I'll show you how to do that after a while, but my next step is I need to put these on there, okay? And I'm gonna try my best to get them as close to that center mark, close to the center mark as I can. You know, I'm gonna kind of have to hold this over like that. In fact, let's go ahead and put one. Okay, peeled that off, and I see about where the center of that should be, about right there. And there you go. And see, this one's not even coming out straight. Like I say, I don't think it really matters because once this sticks through, I'm going to put this on whichever direction I can set it on here. I can put it on there. Put it on there. The end result is all you're going to do is see this on the front of it. You see what I mean? Okay. So that's my next step. Away I go, taping these little buggers on there. Okay, I got them set all over there, and I wasn't going to show you this part, but hey, whatever. Okay, I just peel the back of this off, and I don't care if some of this is overhanging or not, obviously, because it's going to be back behind there. So I can just eyeball that right there. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You know, just get it up there the best you can, centered the best you can. If it's off a 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch one way or another, it doesn't really matter. What I'll end up doing is when I get this piece cut out, I may measure over, like I say, and then make the little slit, and then I can just measure off of these. So if these are off a little bit, I can measure from the top down, add the little bit, you know, from here down, and figure out where that mark's going to be. The mark, when I cut it, on the back side, on the face of that vinyl, can you see, even if I cut the vinyl off a little bit, even if it's slightly off one way or another, when I put the next piece on, let's get a piece here without the sticky. Okay, when I put this finished piece on, I've got this much room for air. This is going to cover up. If it's slightly off one way or another, this should still fit over just fine. Okay, I'm just going to show you a few more here. You know, I want you to see what I'm doing so that you can see that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. All right? If I can do it, you can do it. Right there. There. Okay? And just kind of push it on there nice. And now granted, I don't know how long these have been in the box. Hopefully these don't ever get loose worst case scenario, if it ever got loose, you'd have to peel that off and put another double-sided tape on there or something like that. But I think these will hold just fine. And this is on this is a insulated garage door. So this is the back of the insulation that they have on here now. It's got kind of a vinyl face, and on lots of garage doors they don't have this. It's just the metal door. So then you would just tape this onto the metal door. Okay. All right. I've got 4 more panels to go, and I think you know how I'm going to put those on. Now it's important. Say that 5 times fast. It's important. It's important that you push this around all the way. You don't want to get any air bubbles in there. Just push it once and not all the way, because you don't want these things to come off. Okay? So I've already done that. I kind of went like that on my first go, straight up like that, and then over like that. But I just want to give it a once over. Make sure those are all nice and tight. Okay? That's your next step.